Good morning, everyone. This is Lori with Three Keys Astrology, and this is your weekly forecast for August 13th through the 20th. Again, the energy on the weekends are lovely, so as we come off the weekend that we have now, I want you to know that there's some sweet energy um, also for the week ahead. If you haven't taken a vacation, this coming week is a great week for a vacation, and I'm going to explain why. Keeping in mind that on the world stage things are still tenuous, we've actually got some very militant energy coming in. That's the biggest event as we close out, wind down. At most full moon culminations, the population feels a little weary and a little tired. Not so this time. Um, the energy that we have coming is really strong, very dynamic, and is going to give us lots of energy and excitement. So I want you to keep in mind that our social and outer planets are all talking about a lot of revision. And you know this if you're part of the human race. We are still in rebuilding phases. We have a lot of that to do until 20. I'd say things start um, evening out in 2026. I like the looks of 2027 and 2028, but for now, we have a lot of work to do. And this week is great. If you're not able to go on vacation, you're going to have insurmountable energy. And I'm going to explain why. First and foremost, thank you so much for those of you that are enjoying my sexy readings. Because I believe that relationships are the most important um, dynamic on the planet, and what is most about our becoming, those relationships, because everyone desires intimacy, are essential. And if you're interested in knowing your lover better, understanding yourself, or even looking at past relationships and why you might be seeking out the same kind of people, I'm your girl. Come get a reading. Excuse me, please. All right. So, first and foremost, in honor of my Catholic tradition, back in the 5th century BC, um, Our Lady was commemorated a feast day, and it's the Feast of the Assumption, August the 15th. For those of you that aren't Catholic and don't understand how holy that day is for us, I want you to know that sometimes the reason you're with family that's difficult um, is indeed a stretching of your own bones, a growing of your own potential, and helping you understand how to relate better. The Feast of the Assumption is a commemoration of Our Lady's ascension into heaven. And because we are a people of creation, just know you have a heavenly Father, you have a heavenly Mother that are not embroiled in day to day dramas and difficulty. And if you're not a person of faith, today can be the first day. Um, it's so easy to pray, and it takes a little while if you've lived chaotically, and if you're dramatic, and if you've lived edgy and nervous, and you have an abundance of that kind of energy. Gemini, some Aquarians, um, definitely Virgo. Um, and Libra. So I would say that if you start to get in a practice, I've talked to you about the 4-7-10 breath, that will greatly help you. But be dutiful. Pray during the day. Pray before you get up. Pray when you go to bed. When you're in the energy of wonder, awe, faith, and devotion, and Neptune is in retrograde, and Neptune is pouring healing buckets and buckets of healing waters on our planet for the ill, the sick, the hurt, the wounded, those getting ready to pass. Now, Black Moon Lilith is there too, but this month, um, Neptune is really, really bringing in healing, and you can always be a part of that. Choose to be part of that. and refuse to engage in events, circumstances, or be part of situations that you absolutely know would hurt other people. Um, I want to tell you that Monday, okay, so let's back up a little, please excuse me. The weekend is really nice for snuggling, nesting, um, and so it is um, great for being in that vacation mode, or if you can't go, I'm going to snuggle up in my cozy home with the people that I love. 13th and 14th are excellent for that. The moon is in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces. This is one of my favorite jams of all. And it's a little lazy. It's when you're just a little bit drunk, a little bit high, and you just feel like you're floating in the sea of life. And that's really sweet. Um, this is the antithesis of anxiety. It's when you're finally, your shoulders drop down, you realize everything's going to be okay. That's the kind of energy. So that's how the weekend starts on the 13th and 14th. And if you need to, sleep in a little. If you want to take a nap or you want to have a little hot afternoon rosé prosecco refreshment, perfect. It's also great for those of us that love water sports, but it's not anything competitive. It's that lazy day when you boated all night or you're sleeping on the water. It's really, really nice. And I encourage you to look at the moon and the stars and try to catch those Perseid meteor showers. Now, Monday is really upbeat, and it's because the moon is in Aries, which is in a conjunction to Jupiter. And this is really, it's an energy that's so exciting that you feel like you could bounce. And you might be skipping, and you might be hopping, and you might be jumping. Speaking of that, those of you that are into fitness, this is a kind of energy that's excellent aerobically. So your lungs are going to fortify your body more. Bounce, dance, jump, play tennis, play racquetball, be on vacation. But it's quite active energy for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tuesday, more fun. Mercury, Uranus are in a trine with the sun and the moon. Wednesday, Venus is squaring the moon. So now we're getting a little bit lazy. Kind of an echo of what the weekend was that I told you about. But what's wrong with that? Part of the reason we go on vacation, yes, it's to explore, but for a lot of us, it's to relax, to sleep in, to make love a little longer, to have dinner a little longer, to stay out a little later. So this week, I think it's really important. Now we're coming on to Thursday. I like this day a lot. Venus and Jupiter are together. Well, what does that mean? It means that this is the biggest blessing of love. Those are the two benefic planets in the stars. When Venus and Jupiter come together, all things are possible through love. And we have a verse in the Bible. Those of you that are Bible um, thumping people like myself, you'll recognize what I'm talking about. It's it's lovey-dovey energy, and it's energy for you to indulge the people that you love. And I say that you can carry that into Friday because Thursday and Friday we have the moon in Taurus. So great for dining, great for trying out a new restaurant, great for lingering a little longer, having an extra glass of wine after dinner, um, and indulging the person you love. You see, we have the moon conjuncting Uranus and Mercury. And not only will your heart be alight and flight and open to love, but you'll also be mentally connected. So this would be an instance where there is no disconnection between what your eyes see, what your mind feels, connected to the energy and electricity of your heart. And that can be love at first sight. That can be that spark of recognition when you've been dating someone and you're like, he's the one. He is the one. This is a person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So indulge the one you love. Your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. If you all, it's all green lights. On Friday, the moon's conjunct Mars, trining Pluto, sextiling Jupiter and Venus. And again, if you dared indulge Thursday, Friday is so exciting. Explore um, and take some kind of adventure with the people that you love. So it's high energy this week. And if you're at work and your job is really serious, I want to warn you, we got some bang bang energy. Saturday the 20th, when dun, 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 something that we astrologers have known for a while. We have a dilemma that's a bit of a reflection of 2018. Excuse me. This is dangerous for the fires that are blazing in the world. You see, Mars is ingressing into Gemini. And because Saturn is in Aquarius, Mars and Saturn are the energy of military prowess. There's going to be a lot of people joining the military. There's going to be a lot of strategy. And unfortunately, this is going to carry on in a not so wonderful way through May 21st, 2023. Mars will be more stable then. But until then, we're going to see things like we've been seeing when Putin decided to invade Ukraine, the wars that we see in the Middle East, um, in Colombia, um, in other parts of the world that are, um, they seem to be never ending, don't they? And if you look at history, unfortunately, that's one of the biggest faults in human nature. This um, greed of conquering and dividing and of not being satisfied and of feeling never enough. But I'm going to tell you that if you're interested in this channel and you're a religious person and a spiritual being and not so militant, you know that's not true. Mars and Gemini can help you open your mind to new possibility and choose not to be um, get down and dirty and militant. And I mean in your daily lives too. So if you're strategizing, if you're calculating, if you're methodical, and if you're manipulative, I mean, this is the energy that can get out of control. And I would hope that you would hire people, come get astrology consultations with me. Um, because the truth of the matter is, there's plenty for everybody. It just might be that you've tipped too far into cons, indulgences, and greeds, vices that are depleting you and kind of hooking you in so that you have to keep doing it to get more and more and more. That indulgence of never being satisfied. And and I guess because the energy is so upbeat and so positive with Venus and the moon and Neptune and Jupiter this week, and with the commemoration of the ascension from the 5th century BC, friends, that our mother in heaven and our father in heaven cry when they see this kind of destruction in a world they created for us to do better for each other. There is no more powerful force than love on earth. And with Mars and Gemini, you can go through a mental checklist, and I'm happy to do this. I have astrology and remedy readings on my channel. I have readings about deep, intimate sexuality on my channel, www.3keysastrology.com, that are going to help you when we are having difficulty with other people, no matter who they are. We have to first take a look at ourselves to see what we're doing that's causing some kind of chain reaction and then reaction and reaction. And when it snowballs, and when it's so deranged that it becomes habitual, you'll see that you're doing the same thing, getting the same reactions, meeting the same people, falling in that same trap. And I sure don't want you to be there. All of you earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, you're going to especially love Thursday and Friday. All of you fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're going to love Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Water signs, you're going to love Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th. And then the air signs, you're going to have to protect yourself. You can come to me if you need me, because you could be embroiled in some nasty battles. You could become very calculating, very manipulative. If you're a Libra, if you're Gemini, and if you're Aquarius. And and when you're and if you listen to this forecast, and if you're into the rhythm of what I'm saying, and if you write these dates down and these notes down, if you can feel the feeling Wednesday when it's the 17th, and if you can feel the lazy easiness that is the energy of contentment, and that can be no matter where you are, a contentment to say, I'm going to face the things that need to be fixed little by little, little by little. I mean, when you keep avoiding things, you keep looking the other way, you're afraid to pay those bills, or they're mounting up, or you're not acknowledging that you've been left behind, that maybe you have a mate that has someone else, and you're quietly trying to maintain for the sake of the children or the sake of the exuberant costs the families occurred. Feel into that energy when you go to bed Wednesday night and Thursday. Know there's a love bigger for you. You see, that energy, this feast day that's important to we Catholics, is an assurance that you're a child of God and that you don't have to settle for the crumbs and scraps. And neither do you have to launder the soiled lifestyle that other people create. You don't. There's plenty of us who are happy and free. We live clean and we live around people that are honest, true, live their lives with their hearts, and don't have live in chaos, dramas, and turmoil, are not greedy, are not selfish. And at the feast day of the Annunciation, it's my prayer in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit that everyone listening to this video feels that heavenly energy of Our Lady. And I would pray to God that you had a mother whose head you could lay on, whose chest you could lay on, whose heart stood by you through all the stages and ages of your life, especially when you made mistakes, especially when you got hurt, and especially when you were lost. But if you didn't have that mama, you do have one in heaven. And I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. I love little kids. I don't care where they're from, where they grew up, what color they are, what nation they came from, what language they speak, what religion they are. I love God's children. And it doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 110. I still see the child in you because I read your birth chart. So reach out to me, Ducky at 3keysastrology.com. Happy birthday to you, Peter. Um, and to my grandmother in heaven, whose birthday was on my great-grandmother from Scotland, whose birthday was on the day of the feast of our Assumption, August 15th. To Peter, August 16th, sometimes we meet people in our lives who change our lives forever. And you both are people that I love dearly. I have an affection for those of you that are born this week, there's there's really something. I thank God if your birthday is between, I'll go back to the 13th or 14th, and I would say until about the 21st, there's the population, because I've read for 8,000 people now all over the world, there is something very, very special about you. And because I'm an astrologer, I know the reasons. But if you're lucky enough to be married or related to people born, God gave them an insight and an edged intellect like the razor's edge of a diamond that is stellar, that's out of this world, that has the capacity to see, know, feel, hear, know. And so, yeah, um, this is important. Now, I'm going to make this sweet and short. I have some classes to take, and my students and I, my last message is get enrolled if you want to study astrology in September. We got a couple more weeks until that happens, so get over and sign up for your learning module. I love to have September classes because it's Virgo season, Mercury ruled, a great time. The reason we all go back to college, the kids go back to school, and Astrology and Remedy is wrapping up. We only have one more week of it. And I'm glad that you've made friends and enjoyed it. Those classes will be available for purchase on my website eventually, if you've missed a few, so you can go buy those. And I just want to say thank you. Um, the this week it's still summertime, and like I said a couple videos ago, even if you can't get away on a vacation, you can still take a vacation day or two or make it a longer weekend. This is the end of our summer 2022. And when you get to be my age, you become more aware of how little time there is and how quickly the time has gone. I'm in my sixth decade. I turned 60 in May, and um, the joy and peace that there is still reminds us that we have an expiration date. So please don't waste your time wrestling with people that are impossible to get along with. And don't be a second class citizen. Don't stand behind anyone that makes you feel badly, that blames you, tries to shame you, embarrasses you, humiliates you in public by cheating on you, betraying you, deceiving you. That is not what God wanted. When your parents gave birth to the sweet child you were, they had all kinds of hopes and dreams that you would make really good friends and have a prosperous family, a loving, caring, productive, prosperous family that's bonded like the hands that come together when we pray. And so, God bless all of you. I hope you celebrate the Feast of Our Lady. This assumption that's from the 5th century BC, that we Catholics, whose religion was established 2,000 years ago, um, still respect antiquity, still say the same prayers that our great, 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 great relatives prayed. And that is one huge reason for my devotion that's undying. And I hope that you can find that in people, because there are plenty out there. Bye for now. I'll talk to you next week. Don't let your Mars get out of control. All of you air signs need to come get readings. Um, and I would say um, Cancers, Capricorns, and Aries. This can be an indication for conflict until almost Memorial Day weekend next year. So if you're at the crux or the precipice of some kind of edgy agitation, I'm happy to help you. I can map you month by month. If you want to meet me monthly and show you where the snares will be and how to overcome any incoming militant, aggressive others. I promise. I have a lot of protective energy in my soul, and what I don't want is for you to get hurt or caught in the energy of people that do that kind of thing because sometimes that's their game. Bye for now.